the Brazos Valley's first high-definition news, KBTX News 3.
163 law enforcement officers across the nation were killed while on duty last year. Today, representatives from all the surrounding agencies got together to remember and honor those officers who made the ultimate sacrifice protecting their communities. Homeland Security expert Dr. Dave McIntyre gave a special address at that memorial service. I caught up with him shortly after. Well, Dr. McIntyre, thanks for taking some time out to talk with us this afternoon. Sure. First of all, tell me why you wanted to be a part of this memorial service today.
Well, I just finished this College Station Citizens Police Academy, so I got a very thorough look at the department, how it's organized, and the really trials that these people put up with on a day-to-day basis, what the officers do for our community that goes way beyond just in patrol cars and writing tickets. They're really involvement with young people in the schools, so I was really excited to be able to be part of this memorial service today. And
Officer Phil Dorsett here from the College Station Police Department. We'll talk to you in just a moment just about the real police life. But Dr. McIntyre, you mentioned you've been to memorial services of this type across the world. What is one thing that, despite the language barrier, they might actually have in common?
I think it's the idea that, protecting the law, especially in democracies, is so important because the democracy comes from the people. That's the big difference. In some places, police are really there to enforce the law of some nobility or enforce the law of the king. But when you get a democracy where people are responsible for their own laws, and what the police department is doing is helping them to enforce their own discipline for the laws they and their representatives have made, boy, that's really powerful stuff all over the world.
And of course, when we think of you, we think of security in kind of a global scheme. You have that global experience, but I imagine the local law enforcement agencies play a big role in all of this.
Oh, Homeland Security starts absolutely at home. It's not a term, frankly, I like. It's really built out of public safety and public security. And public safety starts with police and fire. It is our local county sheriff. It's our local police department. It's our local officials that are allocating the resources they need to do the job. So, yeah, I'm very interested in what's going on worldwide. But the security for my grandchildren, it starts right here with the police patrolman on the beat. So, yeah, I'm very interested in that.
And officers just like Officer Phil Dorsett. And, I noticed there's a lot of cadets that were at this memorial service. We're fortunate where our community has not had a really big loss since, I believe, back in 2000 when Bryan Officer Mark Hyatt unfortunately lost his life. But I imagine it still has an impact. And how important is it for these cadets who are going to be out on the streets to get a sense of what they really are sacrificing or potentially?
Yeah, it's good for them to see that reminder of what law enforcement is all about. Not just the sacrifices that they could be having to make and will be having to make, but also that we are a very strong community. Law enforcement family, comes out to support its own, and it's important for them to see that too.
And you mentioned the community. We are fortunate enough to have several law enforcement agencies. We've got county agencies, we've got the university, we've got several police departments in our area. Everyone's here. How much does that help when you go out on the street knowing that all these other agencies have your back?
Oh, it's fantastic in our community. I mean, it's just so strong. Out here we have representatives from College Station, from Bryan, from Brazos County, from UPD, from the constable's office, and knowing that you have those other law enforcement officers in your backyard ready to help you out if you need them is a very powerful thing.
And the Citizens Police Academy is still always an option for everyone. What did you learn, Dr. McIntyre, in all of that?
I guess of all the things, the thing that I found most interesting was the individual patrol officer by himself. I can't think of another profession where you're out on your own as much as this one. I mean, I spent my life in the military. We go everywhere with a platoon of 40 guys. The idea that you're going to launch off in the dark by yourself in that patrol car, and then when you roll up on an incident, it might be dangerous, or it might be somebody having a baby. It might be somebody who's a threat. It might be somebody who needs help, and you don't know what it is, and you have a split second to make a decision. That really impresses you when you get to see it up close.
Sure. Well, I appreciate your time this afternoon, and of course everything you do for our community, and of course all those law enforcement officers out there and their families.
News 3 weather.